You are listening to a brand new episode of the Case Closed podcast. I'm your host, Professor C, and as usual, we have a lot to discuss. I want to start out by talking about some things that people are kind of anxious to know about, and that would be the Case Closed Fandub. A lot of y'all are wondering when it'll show up. There's no specific release date set for the Fandub. It's usually when I get all of the lines in. We have sent the scripts out to the actors. I am currently awaiting voice audio clips to come back for 3 of the characters, and as soon as I have those, we can implement them in the episodes and go ahead and release those to y'all. But until I get that, the release is on hold, so we're still waiting for some results to come back in, and hopefully we can get that out to y'all as soon as the lines come in for me. So I just want to let y'all know the project is still ongoing, but it has been a very long process just to get 2 episodes out, as you know. It's a lot harder than I thought it would be originally. So I'm hoping that once we get these first 2 out, that a lot of people will jump on board with the project and hopefully maybe help push more future episodes out faster than we've been able to push out these first 2. So I just wanted to give everybody an update on that, and to let you guys know, I touched a little bit on the live stream in the last podcast. I had done about 3 test runs of that. We are going to go back to that at some point. But when I do, I'd like to have a bigger audience behind me than what I had last time. I wasn't able to get many people to tune into it. I did post on Facebook well ahead of time for everybody to tune in, and I didn't get a big audience. So if I'm going to do that, I need at least 20 or 30 people to be in on the stream at all times for me to be able to do this. So if I can't, then I'm just going to go to doing podcasts only. I won't be able to do live streams, which means I can't answer your questions live as you ask them to me over chat. So just to let y'all know, I'd like to also set up some Skype interviews by audio, not by video, but by audio, like we did in a couple of the earlier episodes of the Case Closed podcast, just to kind of get some perspective from fans and people that have been involved in our movement. So if you're interested in that at all, send me a message and maybe we can set something up. But for now, I want to welcome to the show somebody that I've had on several times, and that would be Mr. Y, who is coming back for our 20th episode of the Case Closed podcast. Again, that's a big mark for us. A lot of people didn't think we'd be here past episode 5, so I want to welcome Mr. Y to the show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Oh, hanging in there. The movement's going pretty solid. We're trying to get as many episodes out as we can in a reasonable amount of time, but we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I just want to say something real quick to all our followers. Hey, guys, I noticed that some of you are kind of starting to start your own podcasts, willing to spread the word on YouTube. And, I mean, that's great and all. You know, I'm glad you are willing to spread the word. But, you know, don't forget that you will need to do more than just, you know, start up your own podcast. You remember to continue to buy and get some of your friends to continue to buy Case Closed DVDs, you know, off of a Funimation website or wherever you may be able to purchase them, because as I was talking to Professor C earlier, sales have not been so well as they were previously. And guys, the best way to get Funimation to notice, you know, or to renew for a 5th season of Case Closed, I'm sorry, not 5th season, 6, is to, you know, to continue to increase sales and show them, and by increasing sales, you know, show that Funimation will continue to make a profit, that they will definitely want to renew this series. So podcasts are great, but don't forget, get people to buy the series.
Great points, because until we get an official release, the only thing we're going to be able to do are these Fandubs that, like y'all are finding out, is taking forever to get out. Like I said, I will continue to pursue this Fandub, but an official release is something we really need to strive for, and that's why I've kept the message of buying season sets going. That's very important, because we want an official release with the cast that we were accustomed to seeing on the show when it first aired, like Jerry Jewell as Jimmy, or Bruce Elliott as Richard. So iconic characters that a lot of people don't forget that really watch the show. They're characters that you learn something about. They're also actors that you learn something about. So I would say that continuing to support the official release is something that we're going to do. Even if we do a Fandub, we're still including promos for the official release because we are still trying to heavily advertise for the official release, because it doesn't matter if we get the Fandub out or not. We're not going to be able to come close to the quality that they put out. We can get good actors and we can make it happen. I believe there's a good community out there to do it, but from a production standpoint and from a quality standpoint, we're not going to be able to match up with what those guys do as far as putting out a product. But we can do something fun and interesting to kind of keep people interested in the show, and that's really what the Fandub is.
Yes, I've listened to actually some of the auditions from some of the voice actors, over YouTube that we managed to recruit, and they all sound really, really well. But once again, guys, as Professor C has stated, that's no substitute to the actual anime or the actual original voice casting dub that's been done by Funimation. So just remember, that we can accomplish more than just getting a fan dub. We need to push for actually, as I stated earlier, getting out and have them doing a sixth season, because I believe, as we talked about in some of the earlier podcasts, that the voice actors have stated they would like to come back and actually work on the show and continue the great run for Case Close. But Professor C, you can correct me right here if I'm wrong. Didn't you tell me that one of the voice actors for a character in Case Close died recently?
It wasn't recent. It was Jimmy's father. His voice actor died, I want to say 6 years ago now. Well, 6-7 years ago, and they replaced him with a new actor that appeared in the Phantom of Baker Street. So it was, Jimmy's dad had a new voice actor, basically.
Okay, because I thought I got that confused with Dr. Agassa's, I believe.
Dr. Agassa's hasn't died, but the guy who actually voices Dr. Agassa is pretty old, so I could see how you'd get that kind of confused.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, guys, let's just push for getting the sixth season out. Another thing, when we relaunch our live series, also feel free to, ask any questions regarding, me or Professor C about what we think about the series, or what we think Funimation should do in regarding to voice actors, or how we think the best ways to maybe promote or increase sales are, or how to spread the word about the show to your friends. Anything's helpful. And also be sure to actually tune in to watch, so that way we can have a massive following audience, and we can continue to produce the live show. Because I actually listened to his recent podcast earlier, and he stated that he only got 12 views on his live show. So we're going to need a lot more than just 12 views in order to keep the live stream up and running. So, just be sure to put in as many questions as you can, and just be sure to tune in to hear and get them answered.
Yeah, guys, we're just trying to kind of increase communication. That was kind of the idea of the forums that Renzo had helped form along with the website, just to kind of connect the community a little more. The Facebook page does it, but when you're able to have boards and kind of a topic place to go to talk about these things, that's kind of just your own domain. The forum really, to me, is for the hardcore fan of the series that grew up watching it, that wants to go discuss it with people that are have mutual interest about the series. So that's really what it's for. And using that, we're also trying to do the live show. I'd much rather do the live show over the podcast. But again, there's an audience for the podcast. Every time I put out an episode, I know it's going to be a hit. I know that, at least a few hundred people, maybe a few thousand people are going to watch per episode. So, it's more worth it to me to do the podcast, especially also Case Closed Live. Whenever I put out an episode of Case Closed Live, those numbers go through the roof. I think that being new, or a newer series, I think people are latching onto that. And people want their questions answered, and that's a form of dialogue back and forth between me and the fans of the series, and also the fans of the page and the movement.
Yeah, actually, was I about to state is that, yeah, guys, Quesos Live is something, real special for us, because that's our way to communicate directly, to you, because Case Closed Podcast are basically, general announcements of what our plans are, and us updating you on the sales of the series. But, for direct communication, we would love to continue doing live, answering your questions, and just having direct communication with the people who love and enjoy this show. Because really, guys, this podcast, it's more than just about, hearing, two guys, talk about Case Closed. This is about us, celebrating, a really good anime and, a really good story. And we would like for it to continue to see it in English. So, just remember that, it's not just about us, it's not just about, getting sales or money. This is about, the show. And we're doing this for the show and to see it continue, basically. So, just be sure to tune into live and, continue to support Case Closed. It's one of the best animes out there.
Something else I haven't brought up, I have received messages recently from a couple of people about having, at these cons, they have panels. And there have been a few people that have contacted me asking me about setting up a panel for Case Closed and maybe the Save Case Closed movement. Depending on where the con is, and this is something I haven't even discussed with you, Mr. Y, I would be interested in going and speaking on that panel if the person doing it would have me, whether it be for the Safe Case Closed movement or Case Closed in general. I'd be happy to sit in on a panel and discuss what we've been doing here the last couple of years, as well as just about the series in general, what our movement's about. So if any of y'all are going to set that up, let me know when and where, and there's a pretty good chance I can attend it if I have a lot of notice ahead of time to come speak on that panel. What do you think about that, Mr. Y?
I think that'd actually be a great idea, to see Funimation see us active in Comic-Con, just see us, that we care enough about the series as well. But in order for us to do that, we need like a massive following, to be there with us and to show us a great amount of support. Otherwise, our cries are basically going unheard.
By the way, not just Comic-Con. I mean, like, not Comic-Con. Like, I mean, any con that will have us, basically. I mean, even smaller cons. Comic-Con's huge. I don't know if we could get in on Comic-Con. If we did, I'd go.
All right.
But I'm talking any con.
Okay, then that's my apologies to the fans.
No. Hey, by the way, you're fine. I'm just saying any con that will have us that's got a decent following, I will consider heavily going and speaking on that panel.
But guys, for us to attend there, and for Professor C to go there and speak, it can't be just some rinky-dink, maybe 5 or 6 people. There needs to be a lot of people.
At least 30 people in the room.
Yes, more than just, like just a small little classroom or whatever. Be sure to attend there, in force to show that we mean business and we want a season 6 as soon as possible.
Right. And I'm serious about this because at these panels, at these cons, it's a big opportunity to speak to fans, also gain new fans based on what we do. So I'd be willing to come down, give away prizes, maybe give away some season sets, put a little money into it. But I do need to know ahead of time if somebody sets it up. I am going to promote that. If somebody has an idea and wants to set it up and just gives me a date, even if it's multiple events, I'll come speak at multiple events. If more than one person sets up an event for multiple cons, that's fine. I just need to know about it. And if it's, 6 months or more down the road, I can definitely make plans because I've already heard from a couple of people that are talking about cons that are 6 months or more down the road. Even ones that are sooner, I might be able to do them as well, but I just need to know. So if you are at all in touch with any of this stuff, just get to me on the Facebook page or on the YouTube channel, and we'll talk about it.
Yes, for anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I was actually going to talk to you about this. Do you think we can maybe possibly get a group gather the next Funimation at the movies maybe and do a little speech there with Funimation watching, or are we going to wait a little while to do that?
I don't think Funimation will go for it. I haven't spoke to Funimation about the project since really its inception. They knew about it, and they apparently had kept pretty good track of it. I think it was something that went around the office quite a bit. I mean, they know what we're doing, I think. Whether they still keep up with it, I don't know. I know when we started, they had originally kept up with it. So We'll see. I don't know. Maybe going to Funimation at the movies and making our presence known, that we're still active and doing
Yeah.
it, would probably help a little more. Now, I could donate prizes. I could donate Case Closed prizes for them to give out. But outside of speaking, I can't really speak at those events. Although they are bringing Funimation at the movies back, so I will have an opportunity to attend and kind of make myself known to them again.
All right, and I guess with that said, for anybody that's still living in that area, or if you guys want to come on down to Fort Worth to attend one of these events and make our presence known, and I don't know what they allow. If we could, would they allow like maybe signs saying "Bring back Case Closed," or are they against that?
They won't be against it. The thing is, whatever we do to promote the show that gets it money will probably work. We could even do T-shirts. We just can't do the official Case Closed logo on these shirts. They have to be our own Save Case Closed generic logos. They cannot be the official logo. And we've already got our own logo and our own signs, so we can just put those on T-shirts and hats and walk around with those at the cons if this actually happens. So there's a big promoting opportunity that I think we need to dive into at these cons and through the internet with advertising. I think a lot of people forget that when we launched the commercial originally on the old All Kids Out of the Pool, we got a huge response, especially through YouTube. We got a lot of subscribers from our commercial just being out on a stream. So, if somebody wants to get with me again and help maybe make a new commercial that can go out on multiple streams on the internet, we can build our audience again even more. Our Facebook page has crossed over 1,000 likes. I'd like to get to 2,000 likes maybe in the next 2 to 2.5 years. So it's a goal for us to strive for. It's something that we definitely would like to do.
All right, and with that being said, guys, like I said and stated earlier, because I'm about to wrap up here in a minute, guys, once again, just, remember when we tune in the podcast, just remember, don't do this, for yourselves, or, don't do this for Funimation. Do this for the show, because this is really what it's all about. It's not about them. They'll just, why we are willing to buy DVDs to give them money is so that they will make the season 6 as stated. So just remember that, guys, when making your podcasts or when gathering your groups, that it's for the show. It's not for yourself. It's not for us. It's not for Funimation. It's for the show. And that's all I got. And thank you guys for your attention.
And thank you, Mr. Y, for joining me. I hope all of y'all have enjoyed this episode. If you've got any questions or comments, leave it below. And let's have some dialogue on the Facebook page and on the forums. If you are not subscribed to the channel or not on our Facebook page and you're a huge fan of the series, I strongly encourage you to get involved and get on board. We need everybody we can get on this movement. It's not just about one person. It's about all of us working together to get a show back that we really care about. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I will see you next time on the next episode of the Case Closed podcast. Take care, everybody.